without making this whole tutorial too verbose and too long, to be honest with you, what we'll do is we'll set up a couple of common scenarios here. The first one we'll use is wait text. Okay. We will. Okay, so let's do this. We'll use a find text and touch to add onto here. So if it waits and finds the text sign in, we're going to use a find text and touch, and we're going to assign that sign in again. And once again, 2, timeout. I'll set this timeout to 5 seconds. Okay. And then it's going to touch this, and we'll add a wait state here. And we're going to assign that wait state again, Google account sign in. Okay, so that'll be our first workflow. If we go back, if you remember now that this wait image has Google highlighted here, so we know that we're on the Google homepage. Lately, Google's been shuffling up their image a lot up here, depending on holidays and so forth. So a lot of times I also find myself highlighting like this here, since this seems to be static. I also find myself highlighting their new kind of social networking button here, since this seems to be static as well. But for now, this is fine. But just keep in mind that things may change at some point, and it might break what you're doing. So, okay. So, say sign in was not found. So how do we handle that? Well, let's do it this way. Because this is going to find it both ways. So, what if we do this slightly differently? So what if we wait for this image to be found instead, Safari? That'll open this up here, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here, and I'm going to change this. Instead of having it, if you click the camera, it takes the current screen capture. I'm actually going to have it find Safari instead to set this case up a bit more, make it a bit more differentiated. So, that's a bit too much. What's going to happen is that now, instead of looking for the text on the screen and finding it every time, and automatically missing this every time, since it's always going to find this, it's now going to look for Safari. And what we're going to have it do is, the next thing is, if this fails, it's going to look for Safari. If it finds it, it's going to touch it. And we'll go ahead and set up this find and touch. And we will, as we've done many times before, simply find and touch this. And we'll set a timeout of 5 seconds or so. Save this. Okay, so then that's going to open this up. And normally we go through the closing of the bookmark screen and then typing everything in. Since we've already done all of that, I'm just going to go ahead and leave the Google homepage up here as the kind of the cached page, if you will. So this is going to open up, and then we're actually going to go put a wait for text in here. Because we're looking for sign in now. And as we've done before, we're going to save and close that. And then we're going to do exactly like we did over here. Find text and touch. Sign in. Add 2 here. 5. And again, the final thing we'll do is add a wait state. And this wait state again will be Google account sign in. Save and close. Oh, also one thing we want to do here is put a success at the end of each of these. Okay, that's just good common practice to do. Okay, the last one is await state. And this will say, am I already at the Google account sign-in page? If I am, then I'm automatically going to pass. So if it's already here, it's just going to pass it immediately. It's not even going to, worry about it. And then finally here, if it's at none of these states here, if it's not at the, if it doesn't find sign in, if it doesn't find Safari, if it doesn't find the sign-in page, it's just going to go ahead and fail this case. Now you can make this much more complex. This is more for example, and it is pretty generalized and fairly simple. This can be, extremely complicated. You can certainly do many other things. Let's see here. If we could drag in. You can drag in another wait event and start a completely other workflow down here, which I've done in the past. So it can get extremely complicated. But for now, we'll call this kind of more of an intermediate towards advanced tutorial, if you will. So again, I'm going to put this in here. And so, with what we have now, we should be able to run this and see everything go through. So the first thing we're going to do is test out this wait text. So again, it's looking for sign in. It's going to click on it, and it's going to verify it's on the sign in homepage and give us a success. So let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and run this. Okay, so it executed and it failed. It did not find anything. Okay, so let's figure out why it didn't find anything. For the wait text, for sign in found, apparently there was no text here. So let's, so this is a common mistake I actually make. Make sure that you take a screenshot of the actual page that you're going to be using. So let's go ahead now and go back and amend this. This is actually good that this happened. So you prevent this from happening to you as well in the future. Again, going to plop it to in here. And I'm assuming that if this is the case, then if we look at the Google logo, yes, that's also going to be the case. So make sure that when you're in this, the wait event section, you also have to define what you want to look for. So in this case, again, just like down here, the wait image, we're also looking for it here. So you essentially have to define it twice. You don't have to, but it seems to be make it much more stable if you do it that way. So now we should be good to go. Let's see how this changes things. Okay, so let me run this again. So it looks like it found the text. Let's click on it. It's going to verify the state, and then it should, looks like it already did, and it should give us a pass. Okay, so you got a pass there.